championship games this weekend. So we bring in our money man. We're just trying to get people paid out here ahead of the weekend, right, Joe Fortenbaugh?
Nice to be here. Nice to see everyone. Thank you for having me. Hello, Cam Newton. You look fantastic as always.
I know. That is a nice velour sweater. That is velour. All right. We got a fellow Bulldog here, so let's start with the Texas-Georgia game. What bet do you like here?
Two bets. Would play over 49.5. Would also go ahead and lay the 2.5 with Texas. Easy out. Easy. No, we're going to get excited there, but hold on for a minute. To the total. When they first met, total was 57 points. We got 45 in that game, so naturally there's a reduction. Yeah. I think we've gone too far to 49.5. Texas is going to find a way to score more than 10 points in this matchup like they did in game one. And that's what leads into the Texas handicap -2.5. Kirby Smart doesn't blitz all that often, but he blitzed like crazy in that first matchup against Texas, and it caught Sarkisian and the Longhorns off guard. They're going to be ready for it this time around. And as a result, they're going to have something in the arsenal to take care of that. So I think you get a higher scoring game. I would play Texas -2.5. I also like Texas -0.5 point in the first quarter. Your Bulldogs have been known to start slow.
Elle, you concur?
I 100% concur with this take.
Smart.
In particular because Georgia has really struggled to get off the schneid. But I actually think this one's going to go low. I disagree with you on the total. I think that they're going to have to rely a little bit more on running. Texas is, especially with Quinn being banged up. And so I think there's just going to be limited possessions.
They have been running a lot more since that loss.
Yeah, I think it's going to be more of a defensive battle more than an offensive, kind of firepower. So I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Come on, Cam Newton. All right, we'll get
do you have another one you want in this one?
What's that?
Did you have another one with this
Those
game?
With three, I'd go over
okay.
49.5. I'd go Texas -2.5, and I would go Texas first quarter -0.5 point. But I got plenty more for you, Mom.
Yeah.
Okay,
good.
Always does.
All right, we're going to the Big Ten championship matchup. He sure does. Between Oregon and Penn State. What are you seeing here?
Penn State grad, they get blown out here. And that's coming from Penn State grad. But James Franklin doesn't win these games.
Oh, you were in Happy Valley hanging out.
We know, yeah. And this is how I'm going to recoup those student loans, by betting against this team. Franklin losing 11 straight against AP top fives. That's all the obvious stuff that everyone talks about. Whenever it comes down to the breakdown of this game, everyone says the same thing. Penn State's defense, Penn State's defense. Penn State's defense is overrated. They played two games that matter that are worth looking at. The USC game, where they got absolutely shredded for 400 yards and 30 points. And then there was the matchup against Ohio State in Happy Valley. At the end of that game, they needed to get a stop. Ohio State ran the ball every damn play for 5 minutes and 18 seconds, bled out the clock, and won. If you're an elite defense, that does not happen to you at home when you know what's coming.
Yeah.
I like Oregon to cover the number here. It's going to drop to 3 because there's going to be some sharp money on the Lions in this one, but I'd play the Ducks.
Cam, where are you?
Going with Oregon here. Oregon big. I think they still cement themselves as the #1 team in the nation, and I don't have too much of trust and faith in Penn State.
Yeah, Joe, you said Penn State's defense is overrated.
Yes.
You could have just taken out the defensive part. I'm with you 100%.
So that's why you agreed with the Texas pick, so that you could come right back and get me on my own team. Well done, Elle Duncan, playing the long game as always.
Last one, let's go to the ACC championship game that potentially has a playoff spot on the line. Clemson versus SMU. What do we like here?
I like Clemson here. I think the matchup is going to favor Clemson's defensive line against SMU's offensive line. If you don't know enough about SMU, go back and watch their matchup a few weeks ago against Duke, where they were -6 in turnover differential and still won the game. The offensive line was in shambles there. What do you think's going to happen here against the Clemson Tigers? This team's on a free roll. They're 9-3. They didn't expect to be here. The game's in Charlotte. It's a de facto home game for Dabo and the team. Here comes SMU. All the pressure in the world. Huge step up in class. They played one good team this year. It was BYU. They lost that game. I think that happens, Clemson winning, and then I think SMU gets knocked out of the playoff for Alabama. We saw what the committee thought of Miami versus Alabama. 3-loss versus 2-loss. Same thing here. Now, people will say, well, it's a conference championship game against a 3-loss Clemson team. All right? This isn't an elite conference champion.
You need to look at Cam. I can tell he's disagreeing with you by the body language.
Man, Clemson, please win. Please win. Because when you're talking about college football playoffs, I would not want to see SMU take a spot. And I'm just sorry for being honest, but that's just something that...
There's more meat on the bone with that conversation.
Well, I was going to say,
get into that in just a bit.
Speaking my language,
let's
go.
Elle, where are you on this before we roll?
She agrees. That's enough.
I completely agree with Joe. Apart from that, I really just want Clemson to win. So that very reason, we've got a nice argument over who gets that.
So we all hate SMU. We just don't want to see SMU.
So you two
don't have any good wins.
I take it.